My name is Carl Eugene Wells, and this lesson is a study of kinematics involving physics. With that in mind, I do want to go ahead and show the state standard for this lesson, and it is P-PS2-2, which states that plan an investigation to provide evidence that the change in an object's motion depends on the sum of the forces on the object and the mass of the object. That is the standard for Arkansas. And so when we hear the term kinematics, that's kind of a word that you don't use every day. And with that in mind, we're going to look at some key concepts. But I want to start off first, before we start into any kind of lesson, about the objectives and the expectations that I expect, expectations and goals from my students. The first thing I want to do is to define kinematics. The second thing is to differentiate between motion and rest. Third thing is to produce motion, explain their demonstrations regarding motion and rest, and to give examples of moving bodies and bodies in the state of rest from daily life. Now, you can have a couple things for materials. I have a little toy car, and I also have a toy ball to help demonstrate. If you have one of those, that's great. You can be able to follow along. Now, what I'm going to start off with is how, when you hear the word kinematics, a lot of people don't, like I said, it's not a word that you would use every day. But before I start into this, we will know at the end of this lesson what that is. The first thing I want to do is do a couple pre-assessment questions. And like I said, if you don't know these answers, that's totally fine. You're not going to get counted for it or anything like that. But this just helps me know if you know anything about this subject matter. The first thing is the branch of physics which deals with the description of motion without considering the force or agent which causes this motion is called what? And what is the state of a person sitting on the road with respect to a moving car? Those are the two things. Now, if you can't answer that, now I will give you plenty of time to answer those questions. I usually give about a minute. If you need a little more time, I'll even give you up to like 2 minutes, okay? But as right now, this is going to be abbreviated for this lesson right here, just because. But I will allow that amount of time for that. So with that in mind, when we heard the word, now from the objectives, you're probably already going to get a little feel of what kinematics is. The way I like to look at it is like, let's say you're at home and you want to go to the store and there's a car out there and you're going to be able to get to the store. How are you going to be able to get there? More likely, people are going to drive that car, or they're going to ride in that car to go from point A to point B, from their home to the store. And so when they do that, there's a word for that. You probably know what that is. If you don't, that's okay. Also, if that vehicle just sits in their driveway and they're not going to go anywhere anyway, and they just refuse to, then there's no word for that as well. So I just want you to be able to differentiate between those two concepts. So again, when we have this little toy car right here, sits right here on this ledge I have. Is it moving? No, I don't see it moving. But when I apply some type of thing to it, a force to it, it's going to move. Or if I don't, it just stays there. So with that force being on there, it's going to allow that vehicle or this toy car to move, or even not move. That is called motion. If it stays there, it's called a state of rest. One of the things I like to know to help me remember that is that if you're at home and you're sleeping, you're going to be resting. You're not going to go anywhere. So that's what this is. Okay. So from that, that is the ID portion of this lesson. Now, as far as the we do portion, I'll need you to find me 5 examples out there that can show me a state of motion and a state of rest. I need you to find 5 examples, only 5 examples of a real life situation that you can use to show that, and I'll give you some time to answer that question. I'll give you about 5 minutes. Okay. And we'll go ahead and do that. Now, some of the answers that I would probably expect is objects in motion, or such as like your car out there in the driveway. Some students will use bicycles. Anything that involves motion. And so that's what we do. If you have any troubles with that, then we can I can assist you more with those as well. A lot of times students tend to want to be able to have a harder cost of trying to understand that. We can also do a Zoom if need to, if you need a little bit more one-on-one, or any kind of a Google Classroom platform that could help in assisting in that. These experiences of dealing with kinematics involves motion and state of motion. Now, here's a couple things also. When we go ahead and do this, that when you have objects that's moving out there, there is what they call in respect to. So like this ball I have right here is right there. So I need you to get your car and your ball, and you can move your car back and forth. Now this is moving in respect to the ball, which means that the car is in motion. And with respect to the car, the ball is not in motion. Therefore, it's at a state of rest. So make sure that you get your car and your ball, and we'll be able to show how we can do this portion of the lesson. Again, if you need some more assistance with that, like I said, we can always talk more about this, discuss it. I'll be glad to share some extra resources. There's a lot of them out there, actually, especially if you go on like YouTube. Just type in word kinematics, and it pops up a lot of neat little videos and stuff like that. There's several of them out there. I would just kind of thumb through a few of them just to make sure that there's no kind of misinformation or many misconceptions with that. To also help you to answer, to make sure that you fully understand this, you should be able to know now what the branch of physics which deals with a description of motion without considering the force or agent which causes this motion is called what? And if you use the word kinematics, then you have it correct. That's actually your post-assessment quiz. And on the second one, what's the state of a person sitting on a road with respect to a moving car? The state of a person on the road with respect to a moving car. Well, if the person's sitting still or standing up, the car's moving, the person is at a state of rest with respect to the moving car. So with this in mind, I'm going to allow you to do, there is a little bit of homework to do. And with that homework is basically just one question. Just want you to kind of ponder over this, and then we'll get back with this tomorrow and to further discuss this and just to kind of see what type of answers that you have on this. And the question is, can a body be in a state of rest and motion at a time, at the same time. Explain your answer. Again, the question is, can a body be in a state of rest and motion at the same time? So, other than that, like I say, if you have any questions, you can feel free to contact me. My name is Mr. Wells. Anything else I can do, please you can email me, or you can also text me, or even make a phone call to me, and we can schedule something. Other than that, if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you. Bye.